Hello and welcome to a final edition of Voices of Value for 2025, if I may add. We are absolutely delighted to have our Chief Revenue Officer, Paul Bergeson, as our guest today. A little bit of an introduction for Paul. Paul started his career in enterprise software sales at Medic Computer Systems, followed by Health Vision. He has since then led sales teams at NextGen Information Systems and Fitel, which was acquired by IBM, before becoming the Senior Vice President of Strategic Sales and then being promoted to Chief Revenue Officer at Lightbeam Health Solutions. When Paul is not focused on value-based care, he is an avid golfer, he plays the guitar, and is a fitness enthusiast. And personally, it's a huge privilege for me to work with him and for him. So without any further ado, let us commence our podcast today with Paul. Paul, the first question for you, how have your experiences as a veteran healthcare enterprise sales leader, a husband and father, shaped your point of view on value-based care?
So, Andy, great question, and thanks for having me. I'm excited about our chat. But to answer your question, I think first and foremost, it has to happen. We've got $37 trillion in national debt, and about 27% of that is healthcare. So it's very unsustainable, and we have to move in this direction. So it's needed, but there are a lot of positives to value-based care. So the cornerstone of it is prevention, improved patient outcomes, and improved quality of care. So those are all good things. And as a family member, as a son, as a father, I've witnessed kind of the healthcare system failures in my family. So my father had Alzheimer's and was a fall risk, and my mom was trying to take care of him. And it was very difficult as they aged. And one thing that I noticed as he went to different doctors, they all kind of operated in a vacuum, and they would all prescribe medications and not necessarily worried about other doctors and other medications that they had. And all of those things led to a fairly rapid decline from cognitive to physical. So we've got some broken things in the system that need to be changed, and I think a lot of the attributes of value-based care is kind of moving in that direction. So I think it's a positive thing for everything. I think it's good for the population. I think it's good for the patients. Prevention is the corner, and if we can keep people out of the hospital, just quality of life of being out of the hospital is a good thing, but also just reducing unnecessary spend as a result of that is another positive. So I'm in favor of it.
Yep, sobering reality of the times we live in. The next question is, how has Lightbeam Health, over these 13 years, pioneered solutions and services for value-based care and population health management? And what is the impact on the healthcare industry that you and the Lightbeam team take pride in? Are there a few customer, success vignettes that come to mind?
Yeah. Absolutely. So not just us, but others in our industry are all kind of steering toward the same goal, which is how do we break down the silos in healthcare? How do we eliminate the vacuums that my parents went through? So aggregating data from a variety of different sources. So now physicians can see what other doctors are doing. They can do med reconciliation. They can make sure that they're doing the right thing for the patient and not duplicate tests is a big piece of what we and others in our industry do. So getting the data in place, properly risk stratifying the patient populations, being able to identify those that you need to work with and engage with at the right time, I think are all positive things. But the things that really get me going are kind of the patient stories. So we have automated engagement with patients, which has done miraculous things for our clients and for their patients. So one of the programs that we have is based on depression, and there are a series of questions that we have that have different answer loops into different questions. So it's got branching logic. And if we are engaged with the patient electronically via text or a phone, and they respond in any fashion that leads them to believe that they're suicidal, it will automatically link them to a suicide hotline. And we have had several instances where that have occurred. And, obviously that's a positive thing. We recently had a patient who went to the ER because they fell And we were engaged with them electronically after they left the ED. And as we were engaged with them, they were not taking their medications based on their response. So we had a nurse call them, and while she was speaking with them on the phone, the patient revealed that the reason they fell was because they overdosed, because he tried to commit suicide. So again, she engaged the suicide hotline, reached out to the primary care provider, got that patient in the following day, and he got treatment and avoided something that potentially would have been catastrophic. So the patient stories, we have a lot of them, a lot of great chronic condition follow-up, getting people on their medications, being alerted when their blood sugar is too high, keeping people out of the hospital. I think it's key for quality of life. So patient stories are always, heartening for me, but then also how we can help our clients just economically. So we have a client that has been using our engagement tool for about 8 years. For about a 2-year period, they had 54,000 members engaged, which made them the second largest RPM deployment in the world. During that period of time, they saved $53 million. And primarily where they saved that money was in avoided ED visits for patients with asthma, COPD, and CHF. And the nice thing about this is we can engage a broader population because the only thing we're responding to, or our clients are responding to, are the alerts that are coming out, which is like 1% to 2%. So this is a great way to engage with the population that we don't have human resources to do. And also it helps with the outcomes. So not only did we reduce ED visits pretty dramatically with that population, but we also reduced readmissions for patients with CHF as a result of that. So patient stories, better health, and I think our clients are seeing financial gains as well, which is important, especially if you're going back to the national debt that I talked about earlier.
That is amazing. That's what keeps us going, right? That is the reason we
Absolutely.
wake up in the morning and come to work excited. Now, you mentioned about not having sufficient human resources, which is where digital, digital health and artificial intelligence, come in. It wouldn't be incorrect to say we live in the era of AI. So, what is the impact of artificial intelligence on society, and specifically in the healthcare industry thus far? How is this changing going forward? And where are you seeing the most excitement from our customers and prospects? Especially because, unlike every previous generation of technology where healthcare and life sciences have been laggards, we're actually seeing healthcare at the forefront of both AI, innovation and adoption, which for me is an eye opener and incredibly exciting.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. So, and I don't have a direct answer to a lot of that, but I can tell you that AI is the most impactful technology invention in my lifetime, and even compared to the dawn of the internet and the processor and those types of things, this has grown exponentially so fast over the last few years, and it's probably going to exponentially evolve even faster going forward. So the impact on society, I don't know if anybody knows. It's going to be in every facet of our lives. It's going to be in entertainment. It's going to be, self-driving cars. I have one. It drives better than I do. It's pretty phenomenal. How it's going to impact the workforce, I don't know. And that's a concern. I think a lot of people have that concern. So if used properly, I think it's a phenomenal tool and it's going to change a lot of lives. In healthcare, same thing. Nobody knows exactly where it's going to go and how it's going to impact the workforce, but I've seen some very positive things with it. So, everybody has a shortage of nurses. Everybody has a shortage of care managers, those types of things. So, some of the things that we're doing with agentic AI to take some of those mundane tasks and automate them, I think are phenomenal. And, we're not losing jobs, we're just gaining efficiencies as we go through that. And the ability to leverage AI models to identify patients who are trending toward an avoidable high cost event is another great way to maximize the efficiency of the care managers that we have and make the biggest impact. So there's a lot of things AI is doing. There's a lot more it's going to do, and where it goes, I don't know, but we've seen a lot of positive impacts with our clients leveraging AI.
Indeed, right? I mean, physician and nurse burnout and fatigue is probably the primary questions keeping
Yes.
healthcare CEOs awake at night if you look at the data. So turning, inward, what are some of the AI-enabled innovations from Lightbeam Health? You alluded to some of them that you are excited about, and how will these enable value for providers, payers, and patients?
Yeah.
Do we have an
Well,
opportunity to showcase one of them, for
yeah,
instance?
yeah. No. I look at this two ways, internal and external. So internally, we are leveraging a lot of the AI tools to do rapid development. So, and also to do QA of that development. So, we have found it made our team a lot more efficient. We can go in with concepts and kind of designs and then run it through an engine and it will produce code. And then we can run it through another engine that will QA it and make sure that the code is correct. And we're finding that we can evolve our product much faster, which is a great thing for us and hopefully a great thing for our clients and ultimately for our patients. So that's internally, it's making a big difference. Externally, I touched on a few things. Making care managers more efficient by not only just doing risk stratification to find out who you want to care manage, the very
Mhm.
high risk patients, but then leveraging AI to say, of that bucket, how many of those are truly engageable? Because we want to make our teams more efficient, and engaging with the patients that are engageable are going to help us do that. And then not only that, how do we get down to who should we reach out to today? Who's trending toward an admission or an ED visit that we need to jump on immediately? So that's one aspect. And another is, I mentioned the agents. So we want to help our clients do more with less. And things like reaching out to patients for care gap closure or annual wellness visits or transition of care management. We've created ambient listening for care management, where it will go in and you can just have a conversation with the patient on the phone. It will document the entire discussion, but then also at the bottom, it will show you coding opportunities from an HEC perspective. It will give you a nice summary. It will let you know what care gaps you potentially are closing and how you want to go through and do that. So again, just efficiencies and doing more with less. And in fact, if there's time, Andy, we've got an example of one. If we want to cue that up and play that here, it's up to you. It's your interview, but if we want to pull that agent up and listen to it, that would be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just alluded to this, the post-discharge care transition.
Hello, are you there? I'm calling on behalf of Southridge Clinic. I'd like to speak with Andy. Is this Andy?
This is Andy. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, Andy. The reason I'm calling is because you had a visit in one of our hospitals recently. I just want to check in on you and see if you have any new or worsening symptoms since you left the hospital.
No, but I have lost some weight since I was discharged.
Okay, thanks for sharing that with me, Andy. Before you were discharged, were you told to make any appointments or have any follow-up visits?
Yes, I was told to schedule an appointment with my cardiologist.
I understand you have a follow-up appointment coming up with your cardiologist. Do you need any help scheduling that visit, or is that something you'd like to handle yourself?
I think I can handle it myself.
Thank you, Andy. Were you prescribed any medications before you left the hospital?
No, I was not.
That's all right. No medications to worry about. Now, before we wrap up, I just want to check if everything is going smoothly since you've been back home. You did mention you've lost some weight since being discharged, and you have a follow-up appointment with your cardiologist. Do you have any other questions or concerns that I should pass along to your care team?
No, I have no questions or concerns at this time.
To make sure I've covered everything, I just want to confirm. You've lost some weight since being discharged, and you have a follow-up appointment with your cardiologist that you're going to schedule yourself. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or any other questions or concerns you have that I can pass along to your care team?
No, I'm good.
Thank you for your time, Andy. Remember, if you develop any new or worsening symptoms or have urgent issues, please call the hospital or the phone numbers listed in your discharge information. Have a good day.
Awesome. The
Awesome.
shape of things to come.
Yeah. Thanks for playing that, Andy. And the voice I recognized. I don't know if you did as well, but the reason why this is so impactful is, we may have 10,000 patients we need to engage in a month. And if we can do all of those electronically, like what just happened, where there was no real to do at the end of the call or task, then we save somebody a ton of work. But what it will do is of
Exactly.
those 10,000 patients, maybe 800 of those request help following up with an appointment or something along those lines. We weed through the 10,000, get down to the 800. Those 800 go into a queue. And now we have our real human resources engaging and getting those things done. So it's just a huge efficiency drive for us by leveraging these agents.
Exactly. And it only gets even more effective as you go from single agents to multimodal agents comprising text, video, speech. It kind of boggles the mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
really exciting times.
Yeah, yeah. And just another area. So engaging patients is one area, better risk stratifying those is another, but also being a front end to a software tool. So, for example,
Exactly.
within our platform, we've got a rules generator or rules engine where you can go in and filter patients and take action on them and move them to somebody's work queue and all those types of things. Traditionally, we had to go in and click those and know where it was and do all those types of things. Now with the AI agent sitting up front, you just go in and have normal conversations with it. And it's say, hey, I just want to filter patients that are this particular age that have CHF, that have had 2 or more ER visits in the last year, that have a risk score of 3 or higher, and send them to my TCM team if they recently had an ADT event or a discharge. You can use conversational prompts to actually do what we used to do by typing. And we are also very close to doing the same thing from a reporting perspective. I want to go out and find which physicians I have who have higher readmission rates for CHF than others, and the system will automatically do that for you. So just, again, doing more with less and making things more efficient through AI and technology.
Yeah, I'm absolutely reminded of a very relevant quote for the times from the Sea of Suki, right, which is one of the more well-known ambient listening platforms out there. He said AI is the new UI,
Yeah.
and we actually see a lot of the Gen AI platforms start to develop, UIs, right? Rather than going to prompts, instead of opening up Google, you're literally opening up the UI is the AI. I mean, the AI
Yeah.
is the UI. So that's really interesting. So
Yeah.
getting down to we obviously have some very experienced and well-known Salesforce folks on your team that we have the opportunity to work with. How do you and the sales team leverage AI to improve efficiencies and productivity on a daily or weekly basis?
Yeah, I think that's evolving. So I think a lot of us are using it, and a lot of my team are using it for RFP response. So we'll take all of our responses over the last 5 or 6 years with good content, put it in our AI engine, and then we can take a net new RFP and we can run questions through that, and we'll pull through the best answers that we have, and it will expedite the process. Again, doing more with less. Proposal generation, researching prospects, understanding new programs. So I go to ChatGPT. There are new programs out there like Team and Access. I got a lot of detailed information from that. And then, of
Mhm.
course, I kind of fact check it because it's not always purely accurate. But it's a great tool to make us more efficient. So and we're moving toward kind of personalizing emails through some of those new AI tools as well. So there's some things that we haven't tried yet, but again, that's going to evolve rapidly, and I think it's making us all more efficient.
Absolutely. So, my concluding question is, as you visit and engage with your prospects and customers, and you've been on the road seeing many of them, what is their level of interest in adopting AI within their organizations to empower their executives, physicians, nurses, care managers, etc., with this plethora of AI-enabled solutions for ambient listening, agentic AI, and agents to improve their efficiency, productivity, and morale, and drive real value for them?
Yeah, great question. I think the ambient listening piece is probably the first one out. So, I know a lot of health systems and large physician groups that are using ambient listening for the documentation within the EMR. So I think that is proven and continually getting proven every day. And just the NPS scores and the class scores of physicians that leverage it, they love it. And physician burnout's a real thing. So I think that's very, very solid. Behind that, I think we're getting into some of the AI models that I talked about earlier. How do we make sure that we're more efficient with the limited resources that we have? And we are coming out with case studies and have real client successes where they've been more efficient and reduced readmission rates and those types of things. But I think that's a little bit more of a laggard behind the ambient listening, which I think is further proven. I think it all comes down to, I think all healthcare organizations realize that AI is the future. I think one area that we're still trying to prove out is there genuine ROI across the board on that, and I think that's going to evolve. And the more things that will drive AI or ROI are going to drive adoption on the AI side because margins are tight. We've had a lot of changes in reimbursement from Medicare Advantage and Medicaid. So the things that truly affect the needle from an ROI perspective, I think, are what's going to drive what gets adopted and what doesn't. But as I said earlier, it's a month from now it can be totally different. So it's evolving so rapidly. It's just fun to watch. But those are
Awesome.
my thoughts. Yeah.
That's a great cue into actually the next blog post which I'm writing, which is on the growth and the evolution of ambient listening, right? Going from physician-patient encounters to nurses using it to potentially using it for revenue cycle management, supply chain management, precision medicine, and whatnot. So great conversation, Paul. Happy holidays, right, to you and everyone on this podcast. So thank you for your time today. Strongly encourage you to sign up for our LinkedIn newsletter, our LinkedIn page, as well as our Beacon blog, which is on the website. We wish you very happy holidays with your family and friends, and look forward to engaging with you again in the new year with our next edition of Voices of Value. Paul, thank you so much for making the time. You're extremely busy, so we really appreciate your time, and personally really enjoyed this conversation today.
Andy, thank you for having me, and I can't wait for your blog post. So look forward to that coming up.